that is left subclavian artery, isn't it? Whereas right subclavian artery, brachiocephalic trunk. Okay, from brachiocephalic trunk, two branches are there, isn't it? So one is the right common carotid artery and the right subclavian artery. Is it clear? Okay. So here is a arch of aorta. Directly from arch of aorta, left subclavian artery, whereas right subclavian artery it is branched from the brachiocephalic trunk, isn't it? So the continuation of this subclavian artery, that is the axillary artery, isn't it? So subclavian artery continues as a axillary artery. Where it continues as a axillary artery? From outer border of the first rib. Okay, from outer border of the first rib, it becomes axillary artery, isn't it? Subclavian artery into axillary artery. See here is the first rib, isn't it? First rib, and outer border of the first rib is here. So till here it is a subclavian artery. After the outer border of the first rib, it becomes the axillary artery, isn't it? So the axillary artery, it is anteriorly it is related to the pectoralis major muscle, isn't it? And laterally to the cords of the brachial plexus. What are these brachial plexus? These are bunches of nerves which supplies the upper limb. Okay. Namely the median artery, ulnar artery, okay, radial nerve, ulnar nerve, okay, and median nerve, okay, bunches of nerve. It is laterally related to the brachial plexus, this axillary artery. So here, yes.
How many nerves that are branched from the brachiocephalic?
Nerve or artery, brachiocephalic trunk, isn't it?
No, the
brachial plexus.
Plexus, yeah.
Yeah. So it is again from ventral rami of C1 to T1. Okay, ventral rami. So all joined together. Okay, and becomes the medial cord, lateral cord, like that. From again the branches will come, isn't it? Median nerve, ulnar nerve, and the radial nerve, and musculocutaneous nerve. So many nerves are there. It is a different class again. Brachial plexus. Okay. So concentrate on the axillary artery now. Okay. So axillary artery from outer border. Yes, any doubts?
Sir.
Go ahead.
Yes. He was murmuring something.
No, sir.
It's okay.
Yes. Regarding the axillary artery from the outer border of the first rib to the lower border of the teres major muscle. Okay, till here it is the axillary artery. So this axillary artery divided into three parts by the pectoralis minor muscle. Okay, so this is a pectoralis minor muscle, and this muscle divides the artery into three parts. First part, second part, and the third part. So between the outer border of the first rib till the upper border of the pectoralis minor muscle, here it is the first part. Okay, from the lower border of the pectoralis minor muscle to the lower border of the teres major muscle. So this part, it is the third part of the axillary artery, and below the pectoralis minor muscle. So below, that is from here to here. This is the second part of the axillary artery. Okay. So the branches from the axillary artery, it is divided into three parts. Branches from the first part, branches from the second part of the axillary artery, branches from the third part of the axillary artery. So you keep in mind, first part, one branch, second part, two branch, third part, three branch. Isn't it? So we will see what are those branches. So here is the first part of the axillary artery, isn't it? So the only one branch. So it is the highest thoracic artery or the long thoracic artery. This is the only one branch. Okay, highest thoracic or long thoracic artery from first part of the axillary artery. Next is the second part of the axillary artery behind the pectoralis minor muscle. Okay, this part, and branches from this part. There are two branches: thoracoacromial artery and the lateral thoracic artery. These are the two branches: thoracoacromial and the lateral thoracic artery. These are the two branches from the second part of axillary artery. Next is the third part. Here there are three branches, isn't it? 1, 2 and 3 branches. So third part of the axillary artery, it is between the lower border of the pectoralis minor to the lower border of the teres major. So this part, from this part, there are 3 branches of the third part of axillary artery. These are the subscapular artery and the anterior and the posterior circumflex humeral artery. These are the 3 branches, isn't it? Okay. This is about the axillary artery. Next is the brachial artery. So the axillary artery continues as a brachial artery, isn't it? From the lower border of the teres major muscle up to the neck of the radius in the cubital fossa. Okay. From here to here. Okay. From lower border of the teres major muscle to the neck of the radius. Okay. Neck of the radius. So what is radius?
Bone.
It is a long bone which is present in the forearm, isn't it? Laterally, lateral bone. It is a lateral bone. Radius, isn't it? Medial bone, ulna, isn't it? So it is having head, neck, okay, and the shaft.
Yes.
Radius.
We still know
So
theology.
at the neck of the
We still know.
yes. Just I am revising, isn't it? At the neck of the radius, it divides into 2 branches: radial and the ulnar artery. Till there, it is called the brachial artery. Okay. See here, from this point to here, at the level of neck of the radius. So this is a brachial artery, isn't it? So how it terminates? It terminates opposite of the neck of the radius by dividing into radial and the ulnar artery, isn't it? Okay. Next is the brachial artery branches. It gives rise to the muscular arteries, okay, which supplies the muscles of, okay, arm, okay, and the, yes, muscles of the, mainly supplies the muscles of the arm,
Biceps.
and it also gives rise to nutrient artery to the humerus. Okay, branch from this, it gives nutrient artery to the humerus and the profunda brachii artery. Okay, so it is the largest branch of the brachial artery, profunda brachial artery, and also it gives rise to the superior ulnar collateral artery. Okay, this is also one branch from the brachial artery, superior ulnar collateral, which forms the anastomosis around the elbow joint. Okay, which forms the anastomosis of the at the elbow joint. These superior ulnar collateral and the inferior ulnar collateral. Okay, these are the branches of the brachial artery. Okay, so maybe in the OSPI exam, okay, if we put on a X mark on the brachial artery, identify the artery. So you are supposed to write brachial artery, name its branches. It gives rise to muscular artery, nutrient artery to the humerus, okay, profunda brachii artery, superior and inferior ulnar collateral artery. These are the branches. You have to write like this, isn't it? And concentrate towards the MCQs also. Just you memorize all the branches, okay, and artery supplying to the muscles or anything anything else. Okay, just memorize those, and which will comes in the MCQ and ACQ. Okay. Okay. And these are the branches of the brachial artery. So the anastomosis around the elbow joint. So the superior ulnar collateral, which is a branch from the brachial artery, with anastomos with the posterior ulnar recurrent here. Posterior ulnar recurrent, which is a branch from the ulnar artery. Okay, these are. And the inferior ulnar collateral, it is the branch of the brachial artery, which anastomos with the anterior ulnar recurrent. Okay, anterior ulnar recurrent here, and here the anterior descending collateral artery, it is also branch from the brachial artery with anastomos with the radial recurrent. Okay, and the posterior descending collateral, okay, posterior descending collateral, which is a branch from the anterior descending collateral artery. Okay, it anastomos with the intraosseous recurrent artery, which is a branch from the intraosseous artery here, branch from the intraosseous artery. Okay, so this is a anastomosis around the elbow joint. Okay, anastomosis around the elbow joint. Next is the ulnar artery. So it is the larger than the radial artery, ulnar artery, isn't it? And here the brachial artery at the level of neck of the radius, it divides into two parts, ulnar and the radial, isn't it? Ulnar and the radial artery, and ulnar artery, it is the larger than the radial artery. Okay, and it begins in the cubital fossa at the neck of the radius, ulnar artery. Okay, and it enters in the palm in front of the flexor retinaculum here. So this is a flexor retinaculum, in front of the flexor retinaculum, and ends by forming a superficial palmar arch. So this ulnar artery ends by forming the superficial palmar arch. Okay. See here, this is a ulnar artery. Okay. Ulnar artery, and anterior to the flexor retinaculum. So it ends by forming the superficial palmar arch. This is about the ulnar artery.
Which area is supplied by superficial and palmar artery? Which area is supplied by superficial palmar artery?
It is again there. It is again there. Superficial palmar arch, deep palmar arch. Okay. And the ulnar artery branches. This gives rise to the muscular branches, which supplies the flexor and extensor compartment of the forearm, both the compartment. Okay, and recurrent branch to form an anastomosis around the elbow joint. Okay, and the common intraosseous artery, which gives rise to the anterior intraosseous artery and the posterior intraosseous artery. So here, branch from the ulnar artery, it is the common intraosseous artery. Again, it divides into anterior and the posterior. It divides into two branches here, intraosseous membrane. Okay, so between the radius and the ulna, one membrane is there, intraosseous membrane, isn't it? So there, the ulnar artery gives rise to one common intraosseous artery. Okay, so again, anterior intraosseous artery and the posterior intraosseous artery. In between these two, there is a intraosseous membrane, isn't it, in the forearm? So which supplies the anterior and the posterior compartment muscles. Okay, and it also gives rise to the branch to the anastomosis around the wrist joint. Okay, anastomosis around the wrist joint. Here also anastomosis is there. These are the branches of the ulnar artery. Next is the radial artery. It is the smaller one compared to the ulnar artery, isn't it? Radial artery, and it begins again same in the cubital fossa. Okay, at the level of neck of the radius. Okay, and here it descends downwards laterally Okay, and leaves the forearm by winding around the lateral aspect of the wrist to reach the dorsum of the hand. Okay, so here dorsum of the, it reaches the dorsum of the hand. See here, dorsum of the hand, radial artery. The radial artery branches. This gives rise to the muscular branches, okay, which supplies the flexor compartment, and the recurrent branch for the anastomosis around the elbow joint. Okay, so these are the recurrent branches from the radial artery. So this is a radial artery, isn't it? And the superficial palmar branch, okay, joins the ulnar artery. That forms a arch, isn't it? Superficial palmar arch. It gives rise to the one branch to join with the ulnar artery to complete the palmar arch. Okay, I will show you in the next picture. To form a superficial palmar arch, it gives rise to one branch to form a superficial palmar branch. Next is about the radial pulse. So it is located superficially here, isn't it? So behind the elbow, okay, with the index finger and the middle finger, you have to see the radial pulse, isn't it? Count for 60 seconds. So, this is about the radial pulse for 1 minute. Next is arteries of the palm. So here the ulnar artery in front of the flexor retinaculum, okay, enters the hand here, isn't it? It enters the hand here, and gives rise to deep branch. It gives rise to deep branch, which is communicate with the deep palmar arch. Okay, superficial and deep palmar arch. Two arches are there. Okay, from the ulnar, it gives rise to the deep branch, which anastomoses with the radial artery, which forms a deep palmar arch. Okay, so from the radial artery, one branch will come, joins with the, it completes the superficial palmar arch. Okay. So this ulnar artery, it continues as a superficial palmar arch, which gives rise to the digital branches here. Okay, digital branches, and also it gives rise to one branch to form a deep palmar arch. Okay, so this is a superficial palmar arch. So in the OSPE, we may ask about this. Okay, identify the X mark structure. You are supposed to write superficial palmar arch. How it is formed? What are the branches? It gives rise to distal branches and the deep branch. Isn't it? You are supposed to write. Next is the radial artery. Radial artery. Okay. So it enters into the from the dorsum of the hand. Okay. So between the proximal ends of the first and second metatarsal bone here, proximal ends of the first and second metatarsal bone, in between the two heads of the first dorsal interosseous muscle. So these are the two heads of the first dorsal interosseous muscle. It pierces here. Okay, it pierces on entering the palm. It continues as a deep palmar arch. Okay, radial artery. It continues as a deep palmar arch. Okay, and it gives rise to arteria radialis indicis and the arteria princeps pollicis. So these are the see here. So it gives rise to the radialis indicis arteria from the radial artery. Okay, and princeps pollicis artery. Okay, from the radial artery, and it is completed by the branch from the radial artery, superficial palmar arch. Okay, and it gives rise to the distal arteries, superficial palmar arch. Is it clear? Ulnar artery, it forms a superficial palmar arch, which gives rise to distal branches, and also one branch to the deep palmar arch. Next is about the deep palmar arch. Okay, deep palmar arch. How it is formed? It is nothing but it is a continuation of the radial artery. Okay, and it is the continuation of the radial artery. Okay, and it is completed on the medial side by giving deep branch to the ulnar artery. Okay, deep branch from the ulnar artery and branches from this deep palmar arch. Superiorly, it shares in the anastomosis around the wrist joint here. Anastomosis around the wrist joint. Inferiorly, the branches of the superficial palmar arch. Okay, branches from the superficial palmar arch. This is about the deep and superficial palmar arch. See here, it is the superficial palmar arch and the deep palmar arch. So the superficial palmar arch is more distal to the deep palmar arch, isn't it? And these are the branches from the superficial palmar arch and the branches from the deep palmar arch here. Okay. This is about the
How is it from distal? Here with
distal means away from the body, isn't it? Distal means away from the body. Proximal means towards the body. So the superficial palmar arch it is
Yes, sir.
distal than the
The
deep one, isn't it? Next is about the veins of the upper limb. So these veins of the upper limb it is divided into the superficial and the deep veins. Okay. So the superficial veins placed immediately beneath the skin, that is in the superficial fascia. Okay, superficial vein, and deep veins accompanies the arteries. Deep veins, whereas deep veins accompanies the artery, whereas superficial vein these located in the superficial fascia just beneath the skin, isn't it? See here, these are the superficial veins. Okay, cephalic and the basalic vein. Okay, whereas deeper one which accompanies the arteries, namely the radial artery is there, ulnar artery, brachial artery. Along with these arteries, the deep veins are located superficially in the superficial fascia. Okay. The superficial veins of the upper limb. So these forms the dorsal venous arch here. Dorsal venous arch. Okay. And the dorsal network lies on the dorsum of the hand in the subcutaneous tissue. Okay. Proximal to the metacarpophalangeal joint. Proximal to the metacarpophalangeal joint. Carpal bone, isn't it? So lower end of the radius and the ulna, isn't it? And then the carpal bones, isn't it? And next is metacarpal bone. Next is phalanges. So between the metacarpophalangeal joint. Okay. So phalanges begins, metacarpal bone ends, isn't it? At that point. Okay. So these venous arches formed. Okay. So drains into the cephalic vein laterally. Okay. Basalic vein medially. Okay. Here the cephalic vein laterally and basalic vein medially, isn't it? And superficial vein, basalic vein and the cephalic vein, superficial vein. So dorsal venous arch which forms the medial and lateral branches. So which called the cephalic and basalic veins, superficial vein. Okay, beginning of the cephalic and the basalic vein. So the cephalic vein arises from the lateral end of the dorsal venous arch as a radial side. Okay, and of the forearm towards the elbow joint, isn't it? And it continues up the arm in the deltopectoral groove, isn't it? So here is the deltopectoral groove. It ascends Okay, and it pierces a clavipectoral fascia here. Okay, and it drains into the axillary vein, cephalic vein. Next is the basalic vein arises from the medial side of the dorsal venous arch. Okay, it ascends ulnar side in the forearm. Okay, and it pierces a deep fascia and joins the brachial vein. It joins the brachial vein here, cephalic vein. Okay, so brachial vein means that is a deep vein. Brachial vein is the deep vein, isn't it? Okay, and next is medial cubital vein. It links between the cephalic and the basalic vein in the cubital fossa. Just link between the cephalic and the basalic vein. Medial cubital vein. It is the frequent site for the venipuncture,
Yes.
for the withdrawal of the blood. Okay, and IV injections, medial cubital vein, isn't it? So these are the superficial veins of the upper limb. Next is the deep veins of the upper limb. It accompanies the arteries. Okay, it accompanies the arteries. The venae committents, they are generally arranged in the pair on either side of the respective artery. Like here, it is the radial artery. On either side of the radial artery, these are present, isn't it? Deep veins. Similarly, in the ulnar side, on either side of the ulnar artery, there are pair of veins, isn't it? Which are interconnected. Okay, they follow the roots of the arteries along with the artery, isn't it? So these are the superficial and the deep palmar arterial arches are each accompanied by the pair of venae committents. So these veins, we call it as a venae committents. Okay, which constitutes a superficial and deep palmar venous arches. Similarly, in the arteries are there, no? Like that, these venae committents follows. Okay, so the deep veins of the forearm are the venae committents of the radial and the ulnar veins. Radial vein and the ulnar veins, and the brachial veins are placed one on either side of the brachial artery. Similarly, okay, on either side of the brachial artery there are pair of venae committents. Okay, brachial veins. Okay. Next is the axillary vein. Axillary vein. It begins at the lower border of the teres major, whereas axillary artery ends there, isn't it? So the axillary vein begins from the lower border of the teres major. Okay, and it is continuation of the basalic vein. So it is nothing but the continuation of the basalic vein. Both deep and superficial join together, isn't it? At that point. So it receives the brachial veins close to the termination in the cephalic vein. So the cephalic vein also come and joins here. Okay, to the axillary vein. Next is the axillary vein. It continues as a subclavian vein. So for the artery you will come like this. For the vein you have to go like this, isn't it? So the axillary artery continues as a subclavian vein. Okay, and extends from the outer border of the first rib. From outer border of the first rib, it becomes the subclavian vein. Okay, where it unites with the internal jugular vein here. Okay, and this becomes the brachiocephalic vein, innominate vein. Okay, brachiocephalic vein. So this is from the right side, and similarly from the left side it will come like this, and here it joins and forms the superior vena cava here. Yesterday that jugular venous pulse he was telling, no, right side you have to count the pulse because it is straight, isn't it? Yesterday clinical skill, because it is straight. Left one it comes like this and joins here. You have to see the pulse here. Okay, isn't it? So here the brachiocephalic left and right vein join to form a here the superior vena cava, isn't it? So this is about the venous drainage of the upper limb. Okay. Next is blood vessels of the lower limb. So it includes the femoral artery, obturator artery, gluteal arteries. Okay. Namely the superior and inferior and tibialis and their branches. Okay, anterior and the posterior tibialis. Similarly, in case of upper limb, brachial artery it is there, no? Similarly, femoral artery. In case of the lower limb, isn't it? Yes. So these are the arteries and the venous drainage, great and small saphenous vein and their tributaries. These are nothing but superficial veins, isn't it? Similarly, in case of upper limb, basilic and the cephalic vein. Okay, it resembles in the lower limb as a great and small saphenous vein. Okay, but drainage is different, small and great saphenous. Okay. So in case of upper limb, all together at they will join at the axillary vein, isn't it? Whereas in case of lower limb, the small saphenous vein directly it enters into the popliteal vein in the leg only.
Yes.
To the deep communication. It drains into the deep vein of the leg. That is the popliteal vein. Differs. Next is great and small saphenous vein. These are the superficial veins of the lower limb, isn't it? Whereas deep vein follow the femoral, popliteal and tibialis. That is the tibialis anterior, tibialis posterior. Same like in the upper limb, radial, ulnar, brachial. Okay, same thing in the lower limb, deep veins and the superficial veins. So in the gluteal region, the superior gluteal artery and the inferior gluteal artery, these are the branches from the the common iliac,
External.
common iliac. So the descending abdominal aorta, isn't it?
Yes.
Abdominal aorta, it gives rise to
Internal.
common iliac, isn't it? So again, common iliac gives rise to the
Internal.
internal iliac and the external iliac.
Internal. Pelvic
Okay.
and external.
Yes, internal pelvic and the external
Lower.
lower limb. Normally we will call. So the superior gluteal, inferior gluteal and the obturator artery, these are the branches from the internal iliac. Okay, which supplies the gluteal region here.
Extend.
1 second.
Check it out.
Azim is hello. Walaikum salam. Okay. Okay. Yes, PBL or at 10 o'clock. Yes. Okay, okay. Okay, no problem, no problem. I am a standby. Okay, okay, no problem. I am in lecture. Okay, no problem. Yes. So the superior gluteal artery, inferior gluteal artery, these are the branch from the internal iliac, isn't it? Branch from the internal iliac, which supplies the gluteal region, isn't it? So here it is the common iliac, internal iliac and the external iliac. So these superior and the inferior gluteal artery, these are the branches from the internal iliac artery, okay, which supplies the gluteal region, and the obturator artery, it is also the branch from the internal iliac artery, okay, which supplies
Internal, external, obturator muscle.
internal.
And external, obturator muscle.
Yes, yes. and obturator artery, it passes through the obturator foramen, okay, and supplies the medial side of the upper thigh, medial side of the upper thigh, obturator artery, okay. Next is femoral artery. So here it is the external iliac artery. So the inguinal ligament, isn't it? Anterior superior iliac spine and the pubic tubercle here. Okay, so this is a inguinal ligament. At the mid inguinal point, it becomes the femoral artery. External iliac till here. Okay, so as soon as it crosses the inguinal ligament, mid inguinal ligament, okay, midpoint of the inguinal ligament, it becomes the femoral artery here, which supplies the lower limb, isn't it? See here, it enters into the femoral triangle as a femoral artery. Okay, so this is a inguinal ligament and it descends into the femoral triangle here. So this is a femoral triangle. Okay, and yes, tell me so that I can also laugh. Already you know, otherwise I'll skip.
No, no.
Directly I'll go.
No,
No, no, not about you.
Huh?
Not about you. We laugh about Barak.
Huh?
We laugh about the Barak.
Different issue.
Yeah.
Okay. Otherwise, if you people know or so in the femoral triangle, it enters femoral artery. Okay, where it gives rise to the 5 branches. Okay, and again it continues in the adductor canal here. Okay, and it reaches the adductor hiatus. Then it becomes the popliteal artery. Okay, then it becomes the popliteal artery. So this is the adductor hiatus. Okay, from here, this point, it becomes the popliteal artery. Same artery, femoral artery, popliteal artery. Okay, and again it divides into anterior and posterior tibial artery. It is like that, isn't it?
Admit.
Yes. So it reaches the adductor hiatus here. It continues as a popliteal artery here. Okay. So here it is the femoral artery. Okay. Branch from the femoral artery. This is a main branch from the femoral artery. It supplies all the structures in the thigh. Okay. So the femoral artery which supplies all the structure, whereas medial compartment of the thigh, it is supplied by the obturator artery, isn't it? Rest all the things supplied by the branches from the femoral artery. Next is at the femoral triangle, it gives rise to superficial circumflex iliac artery. It gives rise to so here it is the femoral triangle. It gives rise to superficial circumflex iliac artery and the superficial epigastric artery. Okay, and the external pudendal artery. Okay, and deep artery of the thigh here. Okay, deep artery of the thigh. It is the main artery of the thigh. Okay, and the muscular branches here. It gives rise to the muscular branches. So these are the 5 branches in the femoral triangle. 5 branches of the femoral artery in the femoral triangle. Superficial circumflex iliac artery, superficial epigastric artery, and the external pudendal artery, deep artery of the thigh, and the muscular branches. Okay. So in the femoral triangle, if we put X mark on that artery, you have to write the femoral artery, write its branches. These are the branches you are supposed to write. Yes.
The superficial gastric artery.
Yes.
Supply gastric region.
Yes, here only. It supplies. So it supplies here, this part. That is why the epigastric called this. Okay. Superficial epigastric artery. Towards. Isn't it? external pudendal. Okay, and deep artery at the pudendal means towards the perineum, isn't it? And deep artery at the thigh here, and the muscular branches. These are the branches from the femoral artery. Is it clear? Yes. Next is deep artery of the thigh. So this is a main artery of the thigh region. It gives rise to following branches, that is the medial circumflex femoral artery and the lateral circumflex femoral artery. In case of upper limb, anterior and posterior circumflex, isn't it? In the upper limb. So similarly, in the lower limb, medial and the lateral circumflex femoral artery. Okay. So this artery, and also it gives rise to perforating arteries. Okay. So this is about the deep artery of the thigh. It is a branch from the femoral artery, the deep artery of the thigh. Okay. Next is popliteal artery. The femoral artery, when it reaches the hiatus, okay, adductor hiatus, it becomes the popliteal artery, isn't it? So it is the continuation of the femoral artery. So here it is the continuation of the femoral artery, popliteal artery. It runs through the popliteal fossa, okay, backside of the knee. Popliteal fossa, here it is cubital fossa, isn't it? So it ends at the lower border of the popliteus muscle, okay, lower border of the popliteus muscle, by dividing into the terminal branches, okay, and it gives rise to the medial superior genicular artery and the lateral superior genicular artery, okay, and medial and the lateral genicular artery from the popliteal artery. Similarly, the medial inferior genicular artery here and the lateral inferior genicular artery. Okay. These are the branches from the popliteal artery, isn't it? Okay. So popliteal artery, have you people seen in lab? No? That model was not there.
No, we didn't see.
So femoral artery?
Yeah.
Yes, femoral artery. Okay. And not this popliteal artery.
No.
That model was not there. Okay. So, and the middle genicular artery. So these are the branches from the popliteal artery. Okay. At the lower end of the popliteus muscle, it divides into anterior and the posterior tibial artery. Okay. So here it gives rise to anterior and the posterior tibial artery, isn't it? So the posterior tibial artery gives rise to the peroneal artery. Okay. Next is the anastomosis around the knee joint, like elbow joint. So here it is the femoral artery. Okay. So anastomosis around the knee joint. Here is a knee joint. The so these are the branches from the femoral artery, okay, and the popliteal artery, okay, and the anterior tibial artery, which forms the anastomosis around the knee joint. Next is the anterior tibial artery. It is the one of the terminal branch of the popliteal artery, okay, anterior tibial artery. Anterior tibial artery, and it supplies all the structures in the anterior compartment of the leg and the perforating branch to the lateral compartment. Okay, anterior tibial artery. Okay, so here is the anterior tibial artery, and ends at the midpoint between the malleoli, ends at the midpoint between the malleoli. Okay, and it continues as a dorsalis pedis artery. Okay, anterior tibial artery, it continues as a dorsalis pedis artery. Have you people seen dorsalis pedis artery in the model? No? It gives anterior, medial and lateral malleolar branches. Okay, dorsalis pedis artery. So keep in mind, dorsalis pedis artery, it is a continuation of the anterior tibial artery, isn't it? Next is the posterior tibial artery. It is the one of the terminal branch of the popliteal artery. It supplies the structures in the posterior and the lateral compartment of the leg, posterior tibial artery. Okay. Posterior tibial artery. So it divides into medial and lateral plantar branches. Okay. And it gives rise to the peroneal artery, which gives rise to lateral malleolar and the calcaneal branches. Posterior tibial artery. Next is the dorsalis pedis artery. It is the continuation of the anterior tibial artery, midpoint of the two malleoli, isn't it? Dorsalis pedis artery, and it gives rise to lateral tarsal branch, okay, medial tarsal branch, lateral and the medial tarsal branch, okay, and arcuate branch, and first dorsal, metatarsal and the deep plantar, okay.
Victor, where is malleoli?
See, on either side, malleoli. Medial, lateral malleolar. Next about the plantar arteries, the posterior tibial artery divides into lateral plantar artery and the medial plantar artery. Okay, so the medial plantar artery, which gives rise to first plantar metatarsal artery and the deep plantar arch, it is formed by the deep plantar branch of the dorsalis pedis artery. Okay, deep plantar arch. So here it is the deep plantar arch. Next is about the veins of the lower limb. So already I told you, it is divided into deep veins and the superficial veins. Okay, deep veins accompanies the arteries, isn't it? And superficial, these are located in the superficial fascia. Okay, same like in the upper limb, isn't it? So the deep veins of the foot are drained into the dorsal venous arch. Okay, dorsal venous arch, same like upper limb. Okay, so the medial and the lateral marginal vein emerges from these dorsal venous arch, isn't it? So the medial one, the medial marginal vein continues as a great Siphanous vein. Medial margin vein, superficial vein, continues as the great Siphanous vein. Okay, and here it ascends in front of the medial malleolus. Okay, and in the leg, and it reaches to the thigh here. Okay, and ultimately it passes through the Siphanous opening here, Siphanous opening, and it drains into the femoral vein at the femoral triangle. Okay, great Siphanous vein. Medial margin vein, it ascends, okay, till the thigh. Okay, in the femoral triangle, it enters into the Siphanous opening and drains into the femoral vein. Again, this femoral vein, it is the deep vein of the lower limb, isn't it? It follows the arteries along with the femoral artery, femoral vein, deep vein, isn't it? Whereas the lateral marginal vein, that is the small Siphanous vein, lateral marginal vein, that is the small Siphanous, dorsal venous arch. Okay, lateral marginal vein, lateral malleoli, it ascends at the posterior side of the leg. Okay, and it drains into the popliteal vein. So popliteal vein is a deep vein, isn't it? So the small syphilis or the lesser syphilis drains into the popliteal vein. Okay. So the perforating veins connect the lesser syphilis vein with the deep syphilis. So the perforating branches are there between the veins which connects the deep from deep to the superficial veins. Okay, perforators. Okay, below and above knee perforators are there which connects the superficial vein and the deep veins. Okay, so these are these provides the unidirectional blood flow, perforators. So this is a case of varicose vein. Okay, so mainly the long-standing persons like in police, traffic police especially, okay, which will stand for occupational hazards, mainly varicose veins.
Because the defect here is due to the valve.
Dilated veins. Dilated veins, superficial vein. So see here, dilated superficial vein, varicose vein, we will call it as. Okay.
This is painful.
Yes, sometimes. And also may found a ulcer. Ulcer also. Okay. So it has to correct by the surgery, varicose veins. So next is arterial pulse. So here you have to palpate at the mid-inguinal point to see the femoral pulse. Okay, femoral pulse. And next is here dorsal spadius pulse, isn't it? And here it is the popliteal pulse. Here is it. So this is about the arterial supply and venous drainage of upper limb and the lower limb. Okay. Yes. So the summary: upper limb, subclavian, axillary, brachial, okay, and ulnar and radial. So the superficial palmar arch, it is formed by ulnar artery, whereas deep palmar arch, it is formed by the radial artery, isn't it? And go through the branches of the brachial, axillary, okay, and especially for the axillary, it is divided into 3 parts. How it divides and what are the branches? Okay, and in lower limb, in the femoral triangle, what are the branches? Okay, and blood supply of lower limb, the branches from the internal iliac artery. What are those? Superior and inferior gluteal arteries and the obturator artery. These are the branches from the internal iliac, isn't it? Remaining, it continues as a femoral artery. Okay, and in the femoral triangle there are 5 branches. Okay, so as soon as it reaches the adductor hiatus, it becomes the popliteal artery, then anterior and posterior tibial artery. Okay, next is about the venous drainage, the great syphilis vein and the small syphilis vein. Great syphilis vein, it is a medial, it initiates from the medial side of the lower limb, isn't it? Great syphilis, whereas the small syphilis lateral side. So the small syphilis vein, it drains into the popliteal vein, whereas great syphilis vein, it drains into the femoral vein in the femoral triangle, isn't it?
Yes.
So is it clear?
Yes.
And go through the branches like this. Yes. Thank you.
Yes.